Keemun, black tea. Competition grade, from Yunnan Sourcing, which is like the main vendor I've used, all but for a couple orders actually, they divide their teas into competition grade is the highest, then there's imperial, then there's, I forget if no designation or premium is better, and then under that you have fancy, which is the worst. I did try some fancy Longjing, and it was awful. Baohang Longjing, maybe there was a different kind of Longjing, so maybe I shouldn't be so judgmental. Maybe some people like it. You might love it. But I have not been able to. I'm going to pour it all out in here just to see how much I have. Yeah, I better use a strainer here. It's got a bit of tea dust in it. And that's not. Wow, it really does. I didn't notice that before. Yeah, look at how dusty that is. So, competition grade, I think this might have happened. I might have had something on top of this. As I remember, this was one of these teas from heaven where I just all of a sudden found it in a drawer or maybe under a book. So that's why it's so dusty. So I'm just going to use half of it here. I wish there was more, but there's not. So it's Chinese New Year, Year of the Rabbit. I wanted to get I went to this thrift shop named Axeman, and I walk in and I go, "Do you have any ceramic animals?" Or I might have even said, "Where are your tiny ceramic animals?" They didn't have any. I'll show this to you along with the tea dust that I think I accumulated. They're very small leaves, so it's almost hard to tell them from dust as it is. But these are actually leaves that have been picked by hand, not by me out of this, but by people over in China, up in the mountains. Pick. You can see some of the videos of them picking tea on YouTube. I might try to remember to put a link in there. But if you watch the channel, I'm low on teas that I really, really like. Keemun isn't even my favorite black, but it's the only black I have now. It's also interesting to you maybe because this is the tea that forms the base of Earl Grey. So if you're a person that says yeah, I like Earl Grey a lot, you might not be liking the bergamot, which is the scent that it's flavored with, but the actual base tea itself, which is the Chinese variety of tea, the small leaf tea. The large leaf tea, it's the biggest hoax played on mankind by the, British government, I guess. In 1823, this Scotsman discovered a plant that was like the tea in China. No, it's actually categorized as the same species. But this would grow in India, British Empire. And so they started making these tea plantations there to break the Chinese monopoly on tea. But it's not the same thing. It grows at lower elevations and at more southerly, more equatorial, hotter climates. Tea is an alpine plant. It likes cool nights and such. The true tea, which is the Camille sinensis, the Chinese kind, this is the Simica kind that I was talking about there. So this is sinensis. You're getting sinensis in Earl Grey. You're getting a Simica in most all other Western tea. I'm not hacking it, except for it's not the same thing as Chinese tea. If you've had quality Western tea, you still haven't had the same thing as quality Chinese tea, have they, Wee Wen? I like it better when you're over here in my lap, totally. So Keemun is, or rather, Earl Grey is Keemun flavored with bergamot. Let's go. Oh, look at how dark that is. Oh, look at all that. Oh my gosh, this is crazy, 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 crazy. This is awful. This is awful. Oh, I didn't notice this. This turned into something awful. Oh my gosh, this is awful. I was expecting, look at this. Look at this. Can you believe that? It's like what I'm saying, asking you if you can believe, is just all this shiny. Well, some of this was my fault. Some of this is OKT. What am I doing here? But there was an awful lot of dust that just came out of it, and that is one of the reasons. Let's see what happens here. You know, when I was I know what that was. That was I was using that to store some tea from my last session, and that I broke off of. All right. So what am I going to do here, Weewan? You got to think quick with black tea. I already took like a lot of flavor off that because you're just supposed to go water on, water off right away, and then maybe you don't even have to do a rinse with black tea, especially black tea like this with super tiny leaves. So I'm gonna have to like figure out a way. Okay. I wish I would have brought another Gaiwana so I could rehearse it. Seriously, let's see what just happens. Way too long. Look at me. This is awful. All right, so you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna drink this up, and then I am going to, because this is not a pleasant experience. This is all muck. And once again, this has been my fault for I had something heavy on top of the tea bag, which turned it into tea dust. You might as well put it in a tea bag. I bet it will still taste good. Yeah, look at all that. You know, part of this is because I have a and I don't have the control over. It's a confluence of factors that is making this just an awful experience. I'm glad that's over with. Yeah, I was thinking about doing another steep and topping it off in there, but gosh, just look at all that muck. This is, okay. Bad experience is over. Last year is done. I've got all clean dishes for the first time in my life, which is symbolic of lots of things for me. Oh. The awful labor it took to produce this